Hello, and welcome back to the Fintegration Society. My name is Dale, and I'm an immigrant. Today, I am here with my lovely daughter Didi, of which you've all heard me speak many times before, and we have prepared a little interview as our first official podcast version here
That's right.
on the Fintegration Society channel. And I was able to get her into the studio today, into our podcast studio setup as we have here. And
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thank you
thank you.
for
Welcome
having
very
me.
much. And this one here, of course, is The Daughter Revisited, Episode 2, Reloaded. Because we didn't quite get it right the first time. So this time, we're going to get
This
it right.
time we're
This
gonna
time,
do
we're
it
going to get it
right.
right. So here we are. Everything looks good to me. Everything sounds good. I am your host, of course. No, it's not Mr. Work, it's just Mr. Dale. But Dee Dee doesn't know anything about the questions I'm going to ask her. The focus of this episode is two generations interpretation of the immigration experience to Finland.
Okay.
So, of course, the way I see everything and the issues that I had, the struggles that I went through are different than the ones that you might have.
Yep.
So don't forget you have that camera at that side there, and you have your focal point up here too. So anyway, with that said, excuse me, little flashback here now. Do you remember the first time that I spoke with you about moving to Finland?
The very first
Mhm.
time.
And when we started speaking about it, what were you thinking when you first decided that you wanted to come with me?
Well, I had a lot going through my head, so much it's hard to say exactly what I was thinking, but I think most of all I was excited for a new experience and getting to see a new culture and try new food. That's what I wanted most. I got kind of bored of how life was and I just wanted something exciting and new.
Okay, and the idea of going with your dad at the same time seemed a better option or worse option than something else different.
Definitely a better option to come here with my dad because now I have a good close friend and family member here with me because moving to a new country makes you feel really, really lonely.
It can be really lonely. Agreed.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially if you don't have the language, which is another thing that I keep emphasizing here to the people who listen to my channel. You just can't get started with Finnish. You can't get started soon enough, and you can't truly call yourself Finnish if you don't speak the Finnish language. And that's
Yep,
just going to be the way it is.
that's the truth.
That's the truth. And I don't mean the half-assed kind of I can order myself a beer and probably bail myself out of jail
Find the
finish,
bathroom.
find the bathroom kind of finish. I mean, hold a conversation with a stranger
Yes.
at the Yuna Asimala, for example, which we did, by the way. Just a little, as I recall, on the very first day we were here, we'd heard all this stuff about how Finns weren't approachable and weren't, they're socially awkward and blah blah blah. And one of the first people we ran into was a Finnish woman who escorted us all the way through the freaking airport. Remember, to the metro.
Well, yeah, I
Remember, we didn't
remember
know which way we were supposed to go.
it was so long ago, but I think a lot of people helped us along the way,
Yeah,
so
yeah, we were total
it's
noobs.
coming back to me now, but I
Yep.
remember everybody was super nice and helpful, just taken aback because you don't really see Americans very often, so they were more confused than anything else, like, how did you get here? But
Mhm.
everybody's been happy to help, and
Immigrants definitely stand out. You're going to
yeah,
be noticed, whether it's American or Chinese or wherever you're from. You're definitely going to speak out.
yep.
But having a language skill definitely helps with that equation. And as here's my next question: as a young immigrant from the U.S., do you think that you have been made on that same point? Do you think that you've been made to feel welcome here in Finland? As a young immigrant from the U.S., do you think you've been made to feel welcome here?
As a young immigrant from the US, I think I have been made to feel welcome here. For the most part, yes. I've never had any bad experiences, that's for sure. And everybody here has been very open about sharing their culture and their language, and everybody tries to teach me some Finnish all the time. They teach me by speaking really, really fast and saying a lot of things. But I think the culture is welcoming for Americans.
In general,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think so too. Again, my own experiences have been it's more of a xenophobia than anything else. It's just
yeah.
that it's a small country. on a scale of smallness that people don't understand that are from the States, especially because it's
Yeah,
such a huge country, distance wise and population wise. The difference is literally vast.
it is. And we're from so far away. We're
We
very
are.
strange.
We
Very
are.
strange.
We are. Hey, but that just makes us awesome.
Yeah, it's a good thing to be strange. You don't want to be exactly like everybody else.
The next one here is from something you mentioned to me. You recently returned from a trip to the US.
Yes.
And what are some of the differences that you noticed between the two countries? First thing that comes to your
Well,
mind.
the first thing that came to my mind, or that comes to my mind right now, is how big everything in the US is. The stores are big. There's 12 different options for your what you put on your bread, 300 different kinds of bread,
And
which
that's in the
is
United States.
that's in the US. There's just a lot more options, and here you go to the store and there's one or two options, so it makes shopping really easy because you
But what
just
about
pick one.
quality? I mean, how does you say there's a lot of variety of goods, but are they the same quality or are there differences?
There are differences. I think you get what you pay for. So if you're buying something that's really cheap, you're not buying something of quality.
Mm.
So maybe some things are cheaper in the US, but the quality isn't the same.
Especially when it comes to food
Yeah.
safety. I know that's for a fact.
Oh, and the ingredients in food,
Mm.
that's another thing I think about a lot because I know if you're American, you know this. You look at the back of your food package, and half of it, or more than half, is stuff you can't even pronounce.
Mm. Yeah.
So when you come here and you look at the ingredients, it's like milk, eggs, wheat,
Butter, wheat, flour.
sugar.
Yeah, there's like 8 ingredients instead of
Yeah.
18.
Yep, you know what you're eating and what you're putting in your body, and you don't have to look out in the news for whatever is giving you cancer and killing you this week. Whereas the US are like, oh, we found some chemicals in your food that can give you cancer, and we're gonna fix it by 2027. Don't worry, by
Maybe,
then, maybe we'll
maybe.
probably take it off the shelves.
Yeah. And the interesting thing I've noticed too is the air and water
Mm,
quality here is so substantially different to me. I think the air quality alone is just mind blowing at how fresh it is year
yeah.
round. I don't think we've ever had an air quality warning here.
No, never. And the water quality here is really impressive too
Mhm.
because in the US, as a young person, you want to go and have fun. So you go swimming in a lake
I
there,
forget that. Yep.
and if you come out of the lake, you smell nasty and your skin might be a different color. But here, the water is so clear in the
You can
lakes.
literally just ladle it out
You
and
can
drink it.
drink
I've seen
it.
people doing that. It blows my mind. Like
You shouldn't do it,
it's
but you
it's
can. You
dangerous, and you're like,
could.
no, wow,
You
that's
would be
amazing.
okay if you did it. You would be
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. That's definitely I would say the nature of the Finnish person is a lot more connected to the outdoors and to nature
Yeah.
than the average American is. Even the ones who are into so-called outdoors and who camp out and who hike and do this and that, I still think that your average Finn, because they have a better work-life balance, because they have the ability to get up and go out and do stuff and have a summer cabin and do things in the woods. They pick berries,
Yep.
they have an awareness of clean air and clean water and air and things like that. So it's easier to sell them on the need to pay for those things, I think.
Not only the work-life balance, but nature is closer here.
Mm-hmm.
In the US, you have to drive for a while to get into nature, so it's a
Because
bigger
of urban
burden.
sprawl.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the cities are built on such a large sprawled out basis that there's no consideration for public transportation, for walking, for biking, for cycling, for anything that isn't full on blown auto related. It's just not designed for that.
Yeah.
Which is too bad because you end up with all these what do they call them? I used to know this stuff when I was in school, but they're side effects of environmental decisions. So if you have a focus towards they're negative something or others, negative after effects basically of choosing to have a car centric policy, for example, instead of focusing on public transportation. And if anybody is listening and you want to get an idea of how poorly of a job the United States has done on transportation issues and things like that, just go online and pull up a map of rail lines for the United States and then look at a map of rail lines for Europe, for the European continent. And literally the European continent is just obliterated by train lines. There's train lines everywhere. You can't see the features of the map beneath them. Whereas in the United States, there's like eight
Yeah.
that cross the whole freaking country,
Maybe.
and they're subsidized and they're money losers, and everyone talks a bunch of smack. So that's one of the issues that I really like about And we've done episodes on this before.
Yeah, get on the bus.
Walkability, get on the bus, watch that episode. It's possible people to do it their whole like people actually live their whole lives here in Finland and other EU countries without a driver's license, without a car, and have never really been like, oh my God, my life is just terrible. It was never as good because I didn't have a car. Whereas if you basically you would ask an American person if what they'd rather do with one of their little pinky fingers or their car keys, you know what I mean? Which is you could never have your car again, or you could keep your little finger. I think they'd be holding out the finger like, here you go, take it. Can you take the
Yeah.
left one?
Yeah, you absolutely need a car in the US.
Because it's
If
that
you're a young
necessary.
person and you don't have a car, you're not going anywhere, you're not doing anything. You better hope you have a good Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah. And you had your license and you were driving when you were 15
Yes, I got my learner's permit when I was 15 and a half, and then when I was 16, I got my real driver's
and a
license
car.
and a car.
Yes.
And
Nice.
but here though, I feel like it would be cool to have a car. I think of course it would be awesome, but I don't need it. I
You
get
don't
along just
have to
fine
have
without
one
it.
to function.
Yeah.
You can, exist in your life without one. And that's a great thing. And with that said, excuse me, are you happier now with your work life balance and overall stress level? Why or why not than in the past?
I'm
As a young Finnish woman, immigrant,
well,
do you feel your work life balance and stress level is higher or lower? And why?
I feel like my work-life balance here is good because I actually get days off and vacation days and sick days and stuff like that, and I don't even fully understand the concept. Like sometimes they just tell me you don't have to come to work today, it's a holiday.
Yeah,
And I don't get that because working in the US they're like it's a holiday, you better be here on
exactly.
time.
Someone has to come in. It's
Yeah,
a holiday.
you
Everyone's
better
going to
be
be here.
here.
It's busy.
So I get lots of holidays. That's really nice. I still don't understand it because what is a holiday? But
And are you aware of some of the other features that the Finnish society has to offer, like that I've talked about, like universal health care and parental leave? And what do you think about policies like that as a young woman of reproductive age? Do you think having that available can affect the decision making that young people make? Is it nice features to have universal health care and parental leave and a work life balance as far as the idea of becoming a parent?
yeah, definitely. I
I mean,
think
I'm
so.
past my prime and you're grown, but if I had been able to, I think, raise you in a place like this instead of the United States, I think you and I would both be vastly different people.
Well, I think the family life is better here. People have more time to spend with their families and maybe more money
Hmm.
and more traditions too.
And
So,
you had worked under contract for over a year here already. And do you understand the difference between at-will employment and working under a contract? Do you know the difference?
yeah.
What is it?
Hmm.
Do you know what fire at will means?
Yeah.
So here, is there fire at will employment? Or do they have to have a
They can fire you at will during your trial period, which is the first 6 months, and then after that, they have to give you a notice or give you,
once you have a permanent contract?
yeah, they have to give you a
Yep.
written thing that says why they're firing you.
And on a permanent contract, you get how many days of leave per year? Do you know?
I think you get,
It's at least 5 weeks, isn't it?
I don't know, but I think you get at least two a month.
2 days per month
Yeah.
is the least I've seen, which comes to 24 days a year, which is almost 5 weeks. And I think that's the minimum I've seen. At most companies, it goes better than that. Most companies are doing like 30 a year. And a lot of Finns that I know will take 3 weeks in the summer and 2 weeks in the winter.
Mm.
Plus, I think there's 5 or 6 like paid holidays and so on.
Yeah, the paid holidays are what
So,
I really
do you
like.
feel like your future is brighter now because you're in Finland, or not as bright?
Yeah, I think it's brighter. Life is easier here, so I think that I'll get farther without so many obstacles and challenges in the way, such as your own employer and your own government
And you're
limiting
starting
you.
school pretty soon. And what's the idea of being able to get an education without incurring a lifetime of student debt? Is that a bad thing?
I think it's unbelievable for me as an American. Like, what do you mean?
It's
I
a
know
bloody
it
outrageous.
is, and I think a lot of
That's a short right
American
there.
kids wanted to go to college and then they found out how much it costs and then they didn't go. So here you just find what you want to do and you do it, and that's
How much
normal.
potential is wasted in the American youth for that reason?
Mm,
And I keep mentioning, I keep pushing, obviously, because you're my daughter, I keep pushing higher education. But here in Finland, not only is higher education subsidized and tuition free, but vocational training is as well. So if you want to go get it certified as an auto mechanic, or you want to go get certified as a bus driver, or you want to go get certified as this or that or the other, whatever it is you choose, you can go and do it, and they will pay for your training and pay you to go through that training while you develop your career skills, which
that's
is
right.
which is something that is blatantly obvious to me as a member of the older generation, and having raised my daughter and thought about politics all my life and tilted at windmills, like I've said. The idea that a representative society would not offer those things as a bare minimum, would not offer universal health care as a bare minimum, would not offer very highly subsidized education as it used to be in the United States. Sadly,
Yeah,
you young people will never know, but when I was your age and younger, there was vocational education in high school. There was metal shop and auto shop and print shop and
right.
wood shop, and home economics was taught, and four different languages were taught. And then they just cut and cut and cut and cut and cut.
Well, people need to protest like they do in France. Like, did you see that they're protesting right now? The farmers are protesting
Mm-mm.
because of high taxes or something like that. So the French farmers are spraying manure
Oh, oh
on the
shit!
rich people's house. Yeah,
Oops!
literally, oh
Literally, oh
shit.
shit!
Spraying poo all over the rich people's house and the parliament and whatever to protest. And I think that Americans should do something.
Sometimes you have to do what you gotta
Mm-hmm.
do.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Well, the problem with that, with just branching off into a little side topic here, is politically speaking, the U.S. is doomed because the empire building part of it is over with. It's obviously an empire in decline, but not only that, they've even stopped pretending to represent anybody but the wealthy and the powerful. They don't even pretend to. There is a sitting Supreme Court justice right now who has admitted to, and there's documentary evidence that he has received hundreds of thousands of dollars in vacations and
Mm,
loans and out what used to be considered outright bribery.
yep.
And in the past, if those things even if talk even floated around you that that was going on, the other justices that sat next to you on the court would be like, no, your smell is kind of rubbing off on me. You need to go.
Mm,
But today, the rest of them just tolerate it. So now that the Supreme Court has been captured by the wealthy, there's nothing left. All three branches of the government are now owned by the wealthy, which is why the working class hasn't gone anywhere for 40 or 50 years, which is too bad for them. And the boomers, they refuse to believe that this could have happened on their watch. So they have their fingers in their ears and their hands over their eyes, and to them the emperor's clothes are gorgeous. They are just beautiful. Land of opportunity, and all you have to do is work 87 hours a week and have six roommates, and you can do it too. They conveniently disregard the fact that they didn't have six roommates and they didn't work 85 hours a week and all that. But again, I'm sorry for dragging you into my generation's rant about the boomers. She's like, okay, whatever you are, old guy, ex guy.
okay.
Okay, Xers or whatever you call us, old timer.
All right, pops.
Okay, pops. Here's your blanket, pops. I noticed you took my blanket, by the
Yeah,
way.
I have your blanket.
That's
It's
okay.
mine now.
That's okay. All right. One more question for you, and then we'll
Okay.
go to our final thoughts. I'm really glad you came on the show today. It worked out really good. I think we got some good chemistry going on.
I'm glad to be here.
Here you go. This one's an easy one. Are you feeling very much like a Finn girl lately? Nowadays, Nukawan, as they say. Nukawan, do you feel like a Finn girl yet, or you're still kind of trying to immigrate into that vibe?
I feel Finn-ish.
Finn-ish.
Yeah.
How so?
I feel like I blend in pretty well. Most people, when they see
Because
me,
your looks or
yeah.
your attitude or your style?
I'm not sure about my style. If my style helps me blend in or if it sets me apart more. Because I don't really try to dress like anybody else. I mostly try to stay warm
Hmm.
with the way I
That's
dress. So
important.
that makes everybody look kind of the same. But a
Hmm.
lot of time people think that I am Finnish just because of the way I look. Maybe it's because I'm so pale. So yeah, I think I look like a Finn girl. I walk like a Finn girl, but I don't exactly talk like a Finn girl. Not yet, but I'm getting there.
You have a Mary Mecco bag like a Finn girl.
Of course, I had to get the
You
Marimekko
have
right
Moomin
away.
socks like a Finn girl.
I do. I have movement socks. I do.
You have your dad has Moomin socks too.
Yeah, everybody in the fam's got
Everybody
some
has one.
movement stuff now.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling welcome, and you were able to get past. I know that you and I both had a period of time initially where we had a lot of self doubt. I know that once or twice we were even talking about going back to the United States, and I'm glad
Mm,
we both were able to overcome that.
yeah,
You, I think, as a young person, have maybe have it a little easier as far as meeting people, and
maybe.
maybe on the social scene. I'm not sure how that works. I'm not really like most Finns. I'm not a real extrovert, but I think that young people are maybe more approachable or more willing to approach. I don't know what I'm looking for here,
I
but
think young people are automatically just all buddies. If, as a young person, you meet another young person, it's like, yeah, we're friends now.
you're in the same club, the
Yeah,
anti old people club.
pretty much. But old people are allowed. If you guys want to be friends, you just have to tell us and we'll let you in the club. But if you don't ever tell us you want to be, you, how would we know?
How would you know? All right. Any final thoughts? Would you like to advise young women and men like yourself to do as you have done and to migrate to a different, better country? Yes or no?
I was saying you asked if I had advice for young people
Yeah.
or
Do you think
whatever.
that do you think that young people in the United States right now should do as you have done and leave the United States, going to migrating to their home country from their family descent, to or to try to improve their circumstances in life as you have done, or should they stay put and try to be strong in the face of adversity where they are? That was the question.
Oh, it's a hard question to answer because I don't feel like moving solved all of my problems, but I do feel like my life is better.
Did it
So
open more doors than it closed? Is the question I would ask as a young person.
I think it opened more doors. I think it did.
Does having universal health care alone affect that decision, do you think?
I think in general, yes. For me, I don't have health issues, so
Right.
I didn't think about it too much, but it is nice to know that I could go to the doctor if I wanted to, and I
Or the
don't,
dentist or
or
the
the dentist.
ophthalmologist. And you've been to all of those things here. You have
Yeah,
used the healthcare.
yeah, I got some nice glasses here.
So I agree with you. It's not going to solve all of your problems. But I, as your father, was looking forward to, I should say, not looking forward to you basically struggling as a young person all the way through your 20s and 30s to just stay in the same place, to not even improve your life. Always to be, and then again, you could, as I've said before in other videos, you can work hard, have money in the bank, have yourself situated, get sick, and lose everything to what they call a medical bankruptcy. So again, as a young person, you were quick to dismiss the value of universal healthcare because, again, as you say, I'm not that sick. I have no chronic healthcare issues. I'm bulletproof. At your age, you are, but when you get to be a little bit older, such as me, you begin to realize how valuable it is to not have healthcare that's tied to your job.
Yeah.
And to have a card in your pocket that you can carry around and go to any healthcare provider in the state of Finland, the
That's
country of
very
Finland.
true. Actually, something that's really helpful for me, I don't know how it works, so I can't really explain it, but I don't pay very much for my prescriptions, and that's great because as a
Mhm.
young person, I don't have a lot of money, so if my prescription costs too much in America, I would just not get it
Right.
ever.
Yep.
But one time I went to the pharmacy here and I didn't have to pay anything for my prescriptions. I don't understand exactly why, but
Wow.
the pharmacist told me there was some kind of deductible for prescriptions each month, and
Mm.
I if I couldn't afford it or I went over the deductible, I just wait till next month to come and get the prescriptions
Wow.
for free, or the most they'd ever be would be like maximum 10 euros. You can't pay more than that for prescriptions.
Exactly. So, as I said, I want to thank everyone who's tuned in to the channel today to watch the daughter here on the Fintegration Society channel, and we are glad that you guys tuned in. Hope you learned something from this and learned a little bit more about Didi here. And I hope you will like and subscribe to the channel, of course. And
Yes, please do,
please
because
do.
there's new videos every week
Hmm.
and lots of exciting stuff going on here. So if you're not subscribed, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Why haven't you liked this channel? You're not paying anything.
It's
Like
free. It's
it's
literally free. Just like the damn video.
you tell them like and subscribe. And thank you very much for watching. And I would one day look forward to saying to you in person, Tervetuloa Suomeen. Welcome to Finland. And we'll see you soon.